And welcome back. Today we have with us John Magnie to talk about how he first met Leigh and how they started writing music together, then how they developed from a duet into the Percolators. He's also going to talk about writing songs with Leigh. So we're so glad to have you with us today, John. And please, take it away.
Well, I'll try to take this from the very beginning when I first met Leigh. And she came down to where I was playing at Frankie Ford's place on Bourbon Street. And Clark Vreeland brought her down there to hear me because she'd been doing a gig or two, like a little solo or a duo with her friend. But that was playing guitar, and she wanted a piano player to back her up, partly because she wanted to have these really long fingernails, so she couldn't really play guitar anymore. That is at the same time I met her when she had just cut her hair real short and dyed it bright red, and just came up with her Little Queenie look. And right before that, I saw pictures of her. So this was 1975, and she looked like a little hippie girl, like Joni Mitchell, and she was learning all those songs, like the Joni Mitchell songs, and kind of all those, I call them the northern poets, like Dylan and Cohen, Paul Simon, really good poetic stuff. And Leigh was very well read and articulate, and I call her a wordy. She could do the New York Times Sunday crossword in pen.
No doubt.
Yeah. And so some of the songs that we first came up with, that I just helped her, put the music to, were these poems. Some of them were really funny. One was called Schoolgirl Poems. And that one, it was really funny and funky. That kind of went with that was a number for our backdoor blues band. All I knew that she wrote it for a boyfriend named Pineapple Head. A lot of her, of course, her lyrics or songs were for that guy. Whoever that guy might be at the time. And there was a trio of them that I think were early on, and that was Crazy Mirrors, I Got a Song, and I Was Just Practicing. And those were, I think, started performing, and then they were solid material for the rest of her musical life. That is what took us into the Little Queenie and Percolators, which that was, the Percolators was from a old book by a guy named Mesro, who was a jazz player, early jazz player up in Chicago, and big influence on Leigh, that book. And then, of course, Little Queenie was from the Chuck Berry song, See the little girl standing over by the record machine. She's too cute to be a minute over 17. and that was Leigh too,
Oh yeah.
She was Little Queenie. Yeah.
And that goes with that famous photograph of her leaning up against a jukebox.
Yeah.
It was on the cover of Figaro, and I've got that picture. Yeah, and I've got that picture up on her website in the photos. Yeah. But it's like you look at it and you go, "Oh, that looks like Chuck Berry's dream right there."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me ask you. I understand that a lot of the formation of your collaborations revolves around Tipitinas that, correct me if I've got this wrong, but she was playing with a group called John Mooney called Backdoor Blues Review. And then was it right at the same time that you guys started doing piano vocal duets on, what was it, a Monday or Tuesday night?
Yeah, it was. It was just right from the beginning of Tipitinas, which, for people who don't know, was started by 14, because that was a magic number, music lovers in New Orleans. I got there in 74, just started playing again. And largely for that, and James Booker, and just the incredible amount of New Orleans artists. They wanted to start a place for them to play, and right off it was the Backdoor Blues Band with Johnny Mooney, and we just started off doing the Monday night piano night, just me and her. And that was definitely, that's when I just started playing with her. So we definitely formed our whole, bag of material right there. Original song, but just as many covers, like dude, give me a Bigfoot and a bottle of beer.
Yeah.
Over here. Yeah, like Bessie Smith. A lot of that Billie Holiday, a lot of the old jazz stuff. But then we had some like "Let's Spend the Night Together."
Oh, nice.
We did all kind of stuff, and then the Percolators came around almost one by one there. Alan Cora and John Meunier. And then whatever. So it was just like a piano trio with a sax player, and we were honored to have just some of the best sax players around. Because we had gigs. We loved it. So it was more of a jazz setup. Well, it was like R&B rhythms, but then thered be long jazz kind of solo. That was always. Leigh, in essence, always was a jazz singer.
Yeah, she got that from her father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that evolved more with the Percolators, adding. Then we Tommy Malone on guitar definitely made us more R&B bluesy, and then we got Kenneth Levins on drums, who has just a great, funky, distinctive style. These guys end up now kind of got more towards a solid horn section with trombone and sax.
I know at some point that you guys added Emily Remler to the group.
Oh, I totally skipped that. That was before Tommy. That was when we were really being like a, kind of a jazz band. So it was just, like I said, piano trio, but then Emily Remler was our first guitar player. Yeah, that was, I don't know, maybe for a year or so. She and Leigh just totally related on the, everything jazz.
Oh, yeah. I can just imagine them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Emily, great player, great soloist.
Yeah, we miss her too.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Wow, that's wonderful.
Okay, I'm gonna read an intro that I did for Leigh's song "Gumbo Heaven" last year in a show we put on. It goes, Little Queenie was very much a child of the Big Easy. She loved her hometown fiercely, like a mama loves her baby. And in a city which has been the muse for many of the world's best songs ever, Little Queenie has added three of her own that I like to call her Big Easy trilogy. Three musical love letters to New Orleans that are all well loved and well known. The first one is one called Dog Days, where she says it's the heat. It's not the heat, it's the humility. And then the other great one is My Darling New Orleans, which we discussed in another part of this interview. Now, the one that I want to take up on is Gumbo Heaven. I am voting for Gumbo Heaven as the best gumbo song ever. And the reason is, first of all, it's just got an amazing funky beat and cool music written by Robert Kraft. Was there ever a more poetic, more passionate, more personal, more downright provocative description of gumbo ever? Because all these other gumbo songs, do any of them give you an entire step-by-step gumbo recipe? Hell no. But just follow along. By the end of this song, your taste buds will be rolling right up onto the lawns of heaven itself. And here's Gumbo Heaven.
Sister gonna put up a big black roof. Melt down the fat fillet from Mr. Zachary. Gonna do something crazy to you. Better shake 'em before they shot. Cook all
And we're back again. And here's John.
Another song I want to talk about of Leigh's and mine is Telephone, Sleeping in My Bed Tonight. So one day, Leigh wrote this beautiful set of lyrics called Telephone, Sleeping in My Bed Tonight. And I went over to her place, and we're looking at this music and wondering what would be a good feel for it. So Leigh made a call on her old rotary phone and called somebody and got a busy signal. So that's how the groove and really the melody and the mood of the whole song came from that busy signal. And so I'm just hoping that Ma Bell never comes after us for royalties, because that's where the idea came from. And we're gonna play this song, but I just think these words are so great that I just wanna tell you the words are: the telephone sleeping in my bed tonight. It dozed off hours ago. I didn't really want to wake it, so I turned out the light and I turned down the radio. Telephone's sleeping in my bed tonight. I wanted to talk to somebody, but I didn't know who. A little while ago, my mind came to rest on you, but that didn't seem quite right. So the telephone is sleeping in my bed tonight. On a mean old night like this one, I want to see a man, maybe kiss one. But it's awfully tough to enlist one over the telephone. Oh no, it ain't my style. It's more like me to be alone. Alone with the telephone sleeping in my bed tonight. While I'm bouncing around humming my lonely love song. And my eyes get so full of moonlight, the melody starts to break up. I want to go put on cologne and makeup. I start hoping the phone's going to wake up before too long. The telephone is sleeping in my bed tonight.
Oh, that's just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I figured really those words are so good. And then you could just hear them if they're spoken, how good they are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are absolutely great lyrics, music.
And that's what it was first. It was just a poem she wrote,
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, we will play Telephone here. So now that you know what the lyrics are, so give us a second here. We'll cue it up.
Turn down the radio. Yeah, turn down the radio. The telephone sleeping in my bed tonight. I wanted to talk to somebody, but I didn't know who. bed tonight while I'm bouncing around. I'm in my lonely love song, and I pass by the window. My eyes get so full of moonlight that the melody starts to break up. I wanna go and put on cologne and makeup. I start hoping the phone's gonna wake up before too long. Oh yeah, the telephone's sleeping in my bed. It's in my bed tonight. Hush, got a telephone down here in my bed tonight.
Thank you, John, so much for sharing your experiences with us today. Thank you all for being with us and listening. And good night, Little Queenie, wherever you are.